Hey everyone, and welcome to my craft room. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. I just had a team meeting with my wonderful team and my upline, and then realised when the meeting had finished that I actually hadn't had a shower today, so I needed to go and have a shower to get ready for my video. Anyway, I'm just going to check my iPad, make sure I can hear myself. Yes, I can. Probably don't want to, but anyway, here we go. So if you haven't watched my videos before, my name is Julianne Richards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in windy southern Tasmania in Australia. So thanks very much for joining me. Yeah, there's just a squall coming through outside my craft room window, so the wind is very loud, so maybe you'll be able to hear it in the background. Anyway, today I'm going to revisit the Clubhouse Bundle, which is the Clubhouse stamp set and the dies. They're actually a really nice stamp set just for something a little bit different for the masculine cards that we need to make in our lives, for our brothers, our dads, our grandfathers, anyone who likes a bit of golf in their life. Thanks for joining me. I can't see who's joined me, so say a little something and let me know you're here. Hey Jenny, thanks for joining me. Anyway, so I'm going to use the Clubhouse stamp set. I am only just organised for this card. As I said, we've just had a team meeting, and I managed to organise myself during the team meeting, which probably was very distracting for the other people watching. So we're using Zoom for our meetings, which means that everybody gets their face up on the screen, a bit like the old what was it, the Brady Bunch, you know, the opening scenes of the Brady Bunch where all their faces were up on the screen. So that's a bit like what a Zoom meeting is with my team. Anyway, so I'm going to be using the Clubhouse. I'm going to make a birthday card for a man, but of course this one could be changed to be a Father's Day card or anything like that, or anniversary, or any sort of special reason. This stamp set's really good. It's got this Happy Father's Day here. We can use that for Father's Day, or you can use it for Happy Birthday, which is really very handy. Anyway, so let's get crafting. I'll just bring my chair over and sit down, so hopefully you can still hear me. Somebody can prompt me if I trail off, because I do tend to mutter once I get started. Hey Michelle, thanks for joining me. Okay, so the card I'm going to be making today, and I don't really know what you would call the fold. Everything I looked up and saw it was just called a fun fold card. Looks pretty normal when you look at it like that. It just looks like a normal sort of card, but actually the opening part is here. So it is actually just a small part that opens like this. Yeah, so it's quite pretty. You can decorate the little panels on either side, and as you can see, I've used a little golfer man here. So I've got everything cut out and prepared, and I'll just go through what I've done as we go. So the colours that I'm featuring are Night of Navy, which is the blue, and it's Garden Green is the green, which I think is quite a nice green. It's sort of more, almost like a khaki green. It's sort of, yeah, quite different to the light ones. What I've got here is just a single side of Night of Navy cardstock. It's 5 3/4 by 4 1/8. So that it is our card base, but it's not a double-sided. It's not scored. It's just a flat layer of cardstock. So it's actually quite a good card if you want to cut down on cardstock, because it doesn't have a whole lot to it as far as that's concerned. I then have a panel of Garden Green, and I have actually popped that through the embossing folder already. I've used the Coastal Weave embossing folder from the Timeless Tropical Bundle, and I really like that. Hopefully you can see that in the sun. It sort of looks like in this context, it sort of looks like a tweedy sort of jumper sort of thing. I thought that was quite nice, so I've used that. And this one is actually just cut a tiny bit smaller than our Night of Navy, so about 1/8 of an inch shorter on all edges, so you can just see a little bit of the Night of Navy around the edges. Hey Roz, thanks for joining me all the way from Florida. What time is it there at the moment, Roz? I'd like to know, are you watching me in the night or are you watching me first thing in the morning? Oh, Margaret as well, thanks for joining me. Okay, so we've got those two panels there, and I might actually just attach those straight away. So when I'm using embossing folders, I actually use tear and tape or double-sided tape to attach those, just because you get, I think you get better adhesion, there's a big word for a Friday, than glue with a embossed panel. But that's just very personal choice. Oh, and happy Good Friday, everyone. I almost forgot. I've been working from home for the last 3 weeks. It's 1 AM. Oh my goodness, wow. Your schedule's off and you can't sleep. Yeah, it's a bit like that with everyone, I think, at the moment, Roz. I know you're sheltering, as they're calling it in the States, I believe. Yeah, so we're all doing a bit of that. I'm working from home, so I have no idea what day it is half the time. Yes, especially, you know, I thought got all prepared for a work meeting today and then realised it was actually a public holiday, so I didn't even have to do it. So totally confused. Okay, so I've just attached that embossed garden green to our Night of Navy, so that's just there. Okay, so what else I've got here, and I'll run through the other bits and bobs that I've got. I have got prepared already the little central card. So this is basically the card part of our design. It's 8 inches long and 2 5/8 inches wide. You could make it a little bit wider if you wanted to, and it's been scored halfway, so it makes a little sort of 4 by 2.5-ish sort of inch little mini card, and that's actually going to attach itself, or I'm going to attach it here in the middle of our panel there, like that. And I don't see any reason why I can't do that now, so I'm going to do that with double-sided tape as well, because it's attaching to the other side of our embossed panel. You could use glue, but I find to get it to stick properly, I probably use a little bit too much glue. Hey Karen, you've joined in too. Thanks for joining me. And Margie, hello my friend. Margie. Guess where we were 12 months ago? Was it 12 months ago? Hang on, I'm getting myself all mixed up here. When was Sydney? I can't remember now. I thought to myself it was 12 months ago, but it might not be. It might have been Auckland that was 12 months ago, and you weren't there with me there. Okay, so I've just attached that little central card, and it's just sitting there like that. Okay, so what I have as well, this Clubhouse Bundle has some really nice masculine papers in there. This little designer series paper, I've got a little segment of it. It's got some golf bags on there. I think that's really sweet. And the other side is sort of like a argyle jumper with the greens and the curry colour there. But I'm using the golf bags for this because I think it just goes so nice. So I've just got that cut a little bit shy of the central card. Excuse me. And I'm going to just attach that there. Just with glue this time, because it's just cardstock on paper. There we go. And I'll just pop that in there. The light is, we are definitely going to get a storm here, I think, or at least something, because the light has just disappeared in my craft room with the clouds coming over. Oh well, hopefully you can still see. There's enough natural light. I know if I start turning on lights in the room, I start to get some horrible shadows, so we might avoid that if we possibly can. Okay, so I have already stamped and die cut the images that I want to use on my card. I'm just going to pop the card itself aside for a second. I've got our gentleman golfer there in full swing. There, so he's already been, I've just stamped him in black ink, and I've just die cut him out using the die set. So he's there. I've got the golf ball here all ready for, now any golfers watching, is it presented? Something like that, ready for a good solid hit. And I've got a single golf club there as well. So I suppose that's an iron club or something, whatever you call it. I know my dad would cringe as I destroy the golfing language. Now you could colour these in watercolour pencils, or you can leave them as they are. I'm going to use blends. I'm just going to use our stamping blends because I think they're absolutely wonderful. I'm going to use the light Night of Navy blend for his pants, his jeans, and I'm just going to colour these, so just bear with me. I'll quickly colour. The colouring might be a bit slack, a bit rough, but you'll get the picture. Just colouring his trousers in with the blue. This just gives it a little bit of colour. We'll just raise him up a little bit. I'm wondering whether I need to put my glasses back on. Glasses on, glasses off. Getting to that age, unfortunately. As many of us are, I'm sure. You can't quite see a distance and you can't quite see close up. I've got some, where are my glasses? Here they are. Let's get them. I've got what my husband calls my old lady glasses, which are actually for close-up work. So they're different to my normal glasses, but they do help with this sort of thing. It's actually for work. In my day job, I'm on the computer a lot. Anyway, there we go. Just his trousers there. Hey, Michelle Wells, thanks for joining me. Wasn't that a meeting and a half? Michelle Wells has just joined us, is one of my teammates, and she lives in Tassie too, but the other end of the state. And she was just in the team meeting as well. It went for like an hour and a half. Most of my day's gone. For his shirt, I'm going to give him a bright, well, not bright, not too bright, a yellow shirt, a light, I wanted saffron, a light So Saffron shirt. There we go. So I'm just going to colour, that's his sleeve ends about there. I'm just going to colour that. I usually have these coloured, but I thought we're all in such a rush these days. We just sort of do a bit of colouring while we were sitting here having a chat. You're icing your cupcakes. Oh, I'm sure those grandsons of yours are going to love those cupcakes. I'm sure you could talk to them through the door. I know we're all struggling with, Michelle and I, picking up an earlier conversation where it's hard because you can't see, at the moment we can't see the people we love. But I'm sure you could. You could talk to the boys during the through the door, but I suppose then it's still a matter of stopping them from wanting to give you a hug or something, which I'm sure they do. Anyway, so that's his hat. Sorry, I should have said that. That's Light Poppy Parade. I've given him his hat. And then I'm going to just quickly colour in his skin tones. And I usually use the Ivory blend for the skin tones, which I will here. But you could match any skin tone that you want. I just use this one. It's a nice sort of middle colour. Just give him some skin there. And I think if you look, the other hand is actually behind there. It upsets Link to me. Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. He wants full access to his Nana. And then he's got a little glove, a little golfing glove. So I'm just going to give that. That's in the bronze there. Just a quick colour. So that's basically all the colour I'm going to give him. There, just lifts him a tiny bit there. So that's pretty good. So I've also said, as I say, I've got the golf ball and the golf club. I'm going to give them minimal colour. I'm going to do the T in the same red, the Poppy Parade that I used for his cap. Just something in me tells me that golf tees should be red. Is that something? Is that might be my limited golfing knowledge, but I feel that golf tees should be red. And I'm going to do the grass in just a shaded spruce, so a dark shaded spruce, and just give it a bit of a grassy, wispy sort of look. Hang on, my grandlady knew me quite upset. Yeah, really watch them through. Oh yeah, Ros, we're going to have to make the most of it for a little while, and look after each other as much as we can, I think. And do lots of crafting. So hopefully I can help out with the crafting part. Hey Angie, thanks for joining me. Okay, so I've got his golf ball. I'm going to leave the golf ball white, because just as I feel that golf tees should be red, I think golf balls should be white. But as I say, someone who plays golf can probably tell me I'm wrong. And I'm just going to put a very light grey on the metal parts of this iron club thingy there. So that's all the colouring in I have to do with that one. Okay, so I might bring our card back. Oh, one more thing. I have got a oval of Whisper White. So it's from the layered ovals, and this one is about 7 centimetres. Here you go. I'm going to confuse things by going back from inches and centimetres, which means it must be about 3 inches long, maybe a little bit less. Okay, so I've got that as well. Okay, so now we'll bring back in our card. I'll put those aside a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the oval, and it's not too big. It's not obviously not big enough to cover all of our lovely designer series paper, so I'm just sort of leaving it there. But I just wanted it just to highlight, just to sort of define the golfer away from the designer series paper a little bit. Wendy, hi, thanks for joining me. Wendy came to my class. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Okay, so I'm just popping that oval in Whisper White just in the centre of that designer series paper, and then I'm going to bring in our golfer. I have to remind myself what I did. I'm going to bring in our golfer, and I'm going to pop him there just so that he is sort of off to the side of that oval. I'm going to put him up on dimensionals, so I'll find some dimensionals. Here we go. When putting up, I'm running because we can't all get together, I'm actually running my classes online. So I've gone to a class in the mail setup, and I've been going through dimensionals like you wouldn't believe, because I give the dimensionals to people, or foam squares to people when they buy my classes. So if you're in Australia and you fancy some crafting at home, please contact me about my card classes by mail. They're going really, really well, and one of them is actually this Clubhouse set, and the other one is the Positive Thoughts, which has been really popular. So please let me know if you're interested in that. Lots of details on my business page. Okay, so I've got my little golfing man on dimensionals. So I'm just going to pop him, as I said, just off to the side of that oval there. And the reason I want to do that is because the set has this cute little golfing flag, which is one of the ones that goes over the hole, they tell me. And I'm going to actually stamp that on this little oval, just off, so it looks like it's like off past our golfer, you know, off in the distance sort of thing. So there we go. Angie, I've got some... Oh, okay. So, oh gosh, Angie, you're still under the weather. That's no good. Oh well, when you're back to it, I'm sure we're going to see some wonderful Angie creations. Okay, so I'm going to pop that, as I say, off. Sort of looks like it's off in the distance, off to his left, and I'm just going to pop that there. So I hope you sort of see that, or is that just me? It sort of looks like he's hit the ball and it's headed off over to the flag in the distance. And I'm going to give the flag, because I like the red, I'm going to give the flag a red, a little bit of red as well. But that's all the colour I'm going to put on that. I don't want it too much. So yes, Michelle, we definitely need dimensionals. Michelle and I are doing a big workshop together, and we're going to make lots of sales, and we're going to need lots of dimensionals to give away. Okay, so there is the first part. That's pretty much done there. So I'm going to decorate. I've got these two panels on either side just begging to be decorated. The first one I've got is the golf ball, and as I say, I've coloured in what I needed to there, and I'm going to put that off onto the left hand side. Had quick to think then, I don't know which is my left and my right. And I'm going to put that up on dimensionals as well. So just one, and will I fit one on that bottom part? Assume so. There we go. So just a couple of dimensionals on there. We'll pop him there on the left. Okay, and then our little golf club, I'm just going to pop that onto the right. I'm not going to dimensional that because it's far too difficult, far too fine. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue, not too much. I'm just going to pop that on there so that it looks like it's just sort of leaning on the edge of the card, sort of nonchalantly just off to the side. Okay, and there we are. So that's pretty much all the decoration. Oh no, I tell a lie. I have in the Poppy Parade cardstock the Happy Birthday out of the set. So I'm going to pop that there as well. I'm going to put one end of it on a dimensional, which is going to have to be a little one, a small dimensional, because it's a small banner. I'm going to pop a banner just on this far end here. And I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue on the other end. You'll see why in a minute, because it's going to actually sit, this end's going to sit on my golfer, on his legs. So just one on there, that's the end with the dimensional, and then firm that down onto our golfer with the glue. There we are. So I don't know if you can see that, it's sort of all at the same level. So the dimensional keeps it up at this end, but it's glued to the golfer on the other end. I don't know how easy that is to see. So if I put dimensionals on both sides, it would obviously stick up too much on this end. Okay, so that's the front of this one. Really, all we have to do now is pop. I've got a little panel of Whisper White, which I've cut the right size to sit inside. Hey Sharon Martin, thanks for joining me. Sharon is my dear friend from New Zealand. How are you, my friend? Kia ora. There we are. So I've popped that inside. There. Okay, so that's where you can write your message and all that sort of thing. And I'm going to do one more stamp here, and I'm going to use the You're the Greatest Guy by Par, which is quite a silly pun, but I think it's quite nice. So I'm going to bring that out. If I find it, here it is. And pop that on a block, and I'm just going to do it in black. Might be tempted to do it in red or another colour, but I think I might just do it in black. And just there in the centre of our Whisper White. There we go. Okay, so as I say, I don't really know what this card was called. When I looked it up, it just said it was a fun fold card. Maybe a, let's call it a centre, I don't know. Anyway, there you go. It's all done. So hopefully you like that. I'm going to actually try, I was going to do it today, but with the long meeting I didn't get a chance. But I thought it would be lovely with sort of like we could put some daisies in the middle and then probably little daisies on the side, just make it a more feminine card. Anyway, so there are, that's my golf card of unknown name. And when it sits up, I was a little bit worried because I sort of always like to think about how our card's going to sit up when somebody puts them on the mantelpiece or the bookcase to display. It actually sits on that little centre opening panel. So there we go, it sort of sits like that. So it does actually is displayable. It's just a little bit different to your normal card. Alright guys, well as I said, short and sweet today because I did get quite tied up in my meeting. But I will sort of have a play with this design and see if I can come up with something a little bit more feminine. Next weekend next weekend, I mean, as anyone who follows me knows that I go live every week, and next weekend I'm actually going to go live 4 times over the weekend, probably on the Saturday. I'm going to have my Marvellous Mother's Day Makes event, and I've got 4 cards that I have designed using different stamp sets from the current catalogue, and I'm going to make 4 cards for Mother's Day. Hopefully you guys will join me for at least a couple of those. The videos of course will be available on my page to watch as replay, but if you could join me live, that would be great as well. So there is an event on my business page if you'd like to RSVP to that. I'll probably start at about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'll make a card every hour through till the early afternoon. So probably 4 hours of cards with little breaks in between so I can have a drink of water and all those sorts of things. But please join me. I've got some lovely cards that I've picked up from here and there, and hopefully you will like them as well. But anyway, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for everyone who's watching live and who will watch the replay. Take care, Roz. I do think of you over there, far, far away, and everyone who is here as well. Stay safe and stay well, and we will see you all during the week and next weekend. Okay, take care and happy Easter, everyone. Bye.